Thank you so much.
All right, we'll get into our next discussion now. Notorious kidnap kingpin Chukudumeme Ongoa Madike, alias Evans, has dragged the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, and 3 others before the Federal High Court in Lagos for alleged illegal detention.
Evans is praying the court to direct the respondents to immediately charge him to court if there is any case against him, or immediately release him if there is none, in accordance with the Constitution. Joined as respondents with Mr. Idris, that's the IGP, in the suit are the Nigeria Police Force, Commissioner of Police, Lagos State, and the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, Lagos State Command.
Well, in addition to that, Evans' suit is one thing so many people have been talking about.
Yes, indeed.
And, but we'll talk about that as we are on the show right now. Joining us in the studio to discuss this is a lawyer, human rights activist, Babatunde Ogala. It's good to have you join us right now.
Thank you very
Good morning,
much.
good to see you again.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Now, the police went to court to get a ruling saying we need to detain this man for about 3 months to be able to carry out or conduct investigations in Ghana, in South Africa, and all of that. And here that Evans has gone to court to challenge his detention against his right and all of that. Would it amount to an abuse of court proceedings and all of that for him to even go to court in the first place?
No.
Okay.
There is no abuse anywhere.
Okay.
Evans, as condemnable as it might have been in our eyes or in the eyes of the media, still has his fundamental human rights. He is presumed innocent until otherwise determined by the courts. That has not been so. The Constitution is also clear on the fact that if you hold somebody in your detention, you must take him to court within 24 and 48 hours, depending on the circumstance and proximity to the courts. So if the police have held the man beyond that, it might be a breach of his fundamental rights, except, of course, if they have an order of court. The Administration of Criminal Justice law of Lagos State prescribes that you could apply to courts, with the FCC, like you know, uses often to keep people. You could apply to court and get an order to hold for 30 days. I don't know where the police said they got their 3 months from. For 30 days and renewable for another 30 days. So to that extent, if they have done that, Evans on his part has gone to court. He has filed a fundamental human rights enforcement law. He has asked for damages, rightly so. If the police have a court order, you just simply present it in court. We've seen it done several times. So the man has a right to the enforcement of his rights. I've heard people condemn, some have even condemned the lawyer who is fighting on his behalf. The lawyer is doing his job. I will not do it. But that is personal to me.
Does the ethics of the profession even allow for a lawyer to say, no, I will not take that job, now that you mentioned that?
Oh, yes. You can't decide which brief you want. You can, you know. But the man is also entitled to a lawyer of his choice. And if he has briefed that man, or his family has briefed the man, and the man has filed his suit, please let the man do his job. It is his job. His principles might be different from mine. Like I said, I might not take the brief. Like some of us don't take, certain classes of briefs on some certain principles. But the man might not share my principles. My principles are not his. He is simply offering a professional service. If Evans takes ill in police detention, they will provide him with medical assistance. Will you condemn a doctor who treats him? I think not. If, like I've heard some people say, oh, the lawyer is earning money, and one of them was even asked, if you do haulage, if you get a contract to haul food to the prisons, would you say you won't take the brief because they're going to feed criminals? Sentiments apart.
But exactly, that's the point.
Innocent of you are not proved otherwise, and what the police should quickly do is to do what has to be done. Enough of the media media sensationalism. Because too much of media, we've seen that happen several times. And at the end of the day, we achieve no results. Evans was said to have smuggled out a note from police detention, which said he had mentioned some names and they ought to be investigated. It was also reported that the police, in response to that, said they could not arrest people until they complete
until the investigation is done.
Honestly, for me, that gave me a lot of concern. If the man mentions me, you know, or the kind of crime that the man has committed, everybody would be on the run.
Let me throw this
you immediately take the man in, at least take his statements, not saying you will not invite them or arrest them.
Until you
so
complete
they think
your
they will
own.
wait for you to come for them?
Looking at all of this now, since June 10, when Evans became part of our lives, if I could put it that way, is there a danger that the police may not do a thorough job? That at the end of the day, this case, as strong as it seems in the eyes of you and I, may just be scuttled?
Well, I would not say that because I don't know what exactly they are doing. I do not know. I do not know how far they have gone with their investigations. I can only react based on what we also see in the public domain. And that is why I alluded to the fact that Evans was reported to have smuggled out a statement from detention where he said he had mentioned names of his informants, who included businessmen, who included people who live abroad, some of his allies. And the police was reported to have responded that they cannot arrest anybody until they complete investigation. Please, if it is me, if it is you, the moment you hear that Evans has mentioned names, would you wait to be invited?
So you agree with Evans' father, who swore, to a 27-page affidavit that his son is being subjected to media trial and it should stop forthwith? Well,
that's his opinion. I mean, it's what he feels, it's what he has said. I may not necessarily agree with him. I will only deal with the facts. Of course, if his father is deposing to an affidavit, he will naturally say the things he has said does not mean that those could be the truth, and does not also mean that the courts would agree with him. The matter is in the courts. Let the court decide one way or the other. The police have said they have a remand order. Evans has said, you are holding me illegally. I mean, let the legal fireworks begin.
Okay. Now, the issue you mentioned, this issue of a sensationalization of cases like this sometimes, where it seems like in the eyes on the media, someone has already gone on trial. In fact, it's even jailed in the minds of people already, condemned and so on. But the media, in carrying out their own responsibility of notifying the public, giving them what is the news and all of that. How do we reconcile this slight difference?
I think quickly, I'm not going to blame the media. The media has a duty to report. They have a duty to inform. But we also have a duty, especially the investigating and prosecuting bodies, to also do thorough jobs. And not just do the media and not do the legal work properly. The media does no wrong in that. I mean, even if they don't give the media information, we expect them to seek information. If a media man is able to break into police detention facilities or the prison, when I mean break, I'm not saying forcefully.
Yeah, of course.
I mean access. And get information from within, so be it. If you have to do a documentary on where Evans is being held, and you are able, to have access to the facility, so be it.
Now, speaking of access, the same Evans' father has accused the police of not allowing access, and the family to have access to him.
Yes.
But there's a free rein on the part of the media, to Evans. Where does the law really stand on the issue of access to an alleged criminal
I'd rather call him a suspect.
Okay. Alleged. Oh, yeah, true.
I'd rather
Thank you.
call a
You
suspect.
are the lawyer.
Well, but what's the difference between alleged and suspect
You are
here?
still a suspect
You're
until
still
found.
Okay. So where does alleged come in?
Alleged, he or she used the word, not me. So the suspect, by law, has a right of access
Okay.
to his lawyers and family. In fact, in some instances, you may refuse to even make a statement until you speak with your lawyers. So sometimes it's in the breach that we obey the laws here, but really is entitled to that right.
Okay. All right.
Notwithstanding the gravity of the offense. Please note, not that I endorse what Evans is alleged to have done.
Of course, we do understand
not
that. Yes.
But as a lawyer, and I speak as a lawyer, I may not take that brief, and I doubt if I will take it. I mean, I won't take it. Let me just be clear on that, just like one has had to reject some anti-corruption briefs on principles.
Okay.
But for my colleagues who might find it worthy, because whichever way you look at it, if Evans is charged to court tomorrow, he will be defended by lawyers.
Okay.
Those our top military hierarchy who were alleged to have embezzled Boko Haram money, money to fight terrorism, we condemn in the media, but they have some legal best.
The underlying factor is alleged.
Alleged.
Hold on, Mr. Tunde Ogala. Let's.
All right, it's time for the
news update. Yes, and the Federal High Court in Abuja has fixed October the 10th to hear a suit filed by an Abuja-based lawyer seeking the removal of Ibrahim Magu as acting chairman of the EFCC.
Now, the suit has the Senate President, the Attorney General of the Federation, the EFCC, and its acting chairman, Ibrahim Magu, as defendants. At Thursday's court proceedings, counsel to the Senate President, Muhammad Galadima, prayed the court to adjourn the matter as he is yet to take delivery of the case file.
And the need for homemade products in manufacturing, innovations in ICT and craftsmanship that boost local entrepreneurship is getting more boost. This is especially as recent calls by the governors of Abia and Imo states for support of homegrown talent and technology-inclined youths to curb criminality gains prominence. While receiving the first look-alike armored combatant utility vehicle manufactured by an engineering student, Governor Okorocha said government will do all it takes to help lift Made in Nigeria brands.
That's interesting.
And that's looking good.
It looks good.
Yes.
Well, all this is just has to do with investment and encouragement of young talents out there. Now, let's get back to our discussion. We've been talking about the arrest of Evans, a.k.a. Evans. Yeah, he is suing the Inspector General of Police and the Commissioner of Police and the police force for keeping him in detention.
Yes, indeed. And now this is a gentleman. Forgive me that I actually use the word gentleman to describe him.
No, in the eyes of the law.
In the eyes of the law.
He's
now,
a gentleman.
is his name Chukudumeme or Chukudumeje?
No, I think
we keep hearing all,
the name is quite long, so the possibility of getting it wrong is there.
There are different names that we're hearing.
But it's all right.
Let's come back to Babatunde Ogala.
Yeah, but even if the name is, well, that is what is being reported as his name. So whether it's Chukudumeje or Chukudumeje,
it's inconsequential.
It's
It's inconsequential. Now, some of Evans' victims have been saying that their own lives are in danger.
Yes.
Should there be some kind of witness protection for these people, especially, looking at the upcoming case, in order to have, strong case to nail Evans at the end of the day?
Well, if the matter is eventually brought to court and Evans is properly arraigned, of course the prosecution can ask for the witness protection. I mean, only 2 weeks ago, you read that the court in Abuja granted witness protection in one of the high-profile matters against Colonel Sambo Dasuki. So if there's an application to that effect, the court will look at it on its merits, and then if there's need for witness protection, the law allows it. The law allows you to even evacuate the courts and allow only the lawyers and the parties in the suit. The law also allows you to have the witness testify from behind screens, sometimes wear masks, sometimes even use pseudonyms. The law permits all of that. So if there's need for it, I'm sure the prosecution will make the appropriate application before the courts.
Okay.
And the courts will look at it on its merit and take a decision one way or the other.
All right.
But I don't know what witness, I mean, if you're talking about, is it the victims or the
Yes.
witnesses?
The victims themselves,
Yes.
for some reason, their identities are out there in the open.
You see,
And they're saying that their lives are in danger.
that is quite unfortunate that even the identities of the victims.
And
are
how
all
much was
over.
gotten from them?
You know, and you see, I read an interview by one of the alleged victims who claimed he was held for 42 days, he was in chains, he heard the voice of his pharmacist, how he escaped, jumping over a fence, and all that. I mean, if the victim did grant that interview, if indeed that interview was true, he narrated how he was picked up from somewhere in Ilupeju, driven to somewhere in Igodo, you know, how he escaped climbing a ladder and all of that. If and then be eventually paid, I think, $100 million, was it? No, $1 million.
$1 million.
$1 million. And, you know, if indeed that account is true, I think it shouldn't have been in the public domain. It shouldn't have been, because the alleged suspect also still has his accomplices out there. And see, my biggest worry in this whole matter is the moment you start, I mean, if Evans, like it said, smuggled the document out to say he has mentioned names to the police, even those people who have been mentioned also will have more than a passing interest in the case, including perhaps even eliminating Evans himself.
Yeah, there are
So
concerns.
that he cannot make
more confessions to indict them.
I think with the police, they would need to do less of this media thing. We saw the police, the day Evans was arrested, the conduct and all of that, winner.
Well, it's almost as if the police is within the devil and the deep blue sea. The police is silent on this in court and does not tell the public what it's doing.
We
Then
saw
people
lots
will
of
think
lots of the
there's a
police
difference.
officers taking.
There will also be reasons for
it may
applying
just
to
go the way of other
court to have
cases.
them keep Evans.
Yeah.
That look, this man is too dangerous to even
us
be released on bail for under any circumstance. So I think we need to really, and this is the time to do more of information management on the side of the police.
All right.
By now,
But
they
let's
should be doing this investigation with the Ministry of Justice, with lawyers to guide them on every step they take.
All right. Let's put you on hold. Bring in Foladele now to give us a perspective or reaction on social media. What people are saying. Fola, good morning.
Foladele, how are you?
Good morning, Ngozi.
Yeah.
Good morning, Babatuni.
Good morning.
Okay,
Fola.
so let me bring you some reactions that might add some perspective to your conversation.
All right.
Human Asab says, wait, chill. I heard Evans wants to sue police 300 million for illegal detention. And he's laughing. Yoke Gila says, so Evans done the gather liver to the sue police, shaking my head. Another first from Nigeria, comedians everywhere. Tade Adekunle says, Evans to sue police for illegal detention. Lawyers just like to make money anyhow, anyway. Israel Yeshua says, what is happening here? I smell a rat. This is insult upon injury. How come Evans is a criminal? How come Evans, a criminal in custody, is now so confident to sue the police? Dr. Etienne Imagbeni Karo says, just see the guts. Someone that should be facing the firing squad now is threatening to sue the police. Chai. Woye says there was no remand order from the magistrate keeping Evans in detention, so he can sue for damages since our police are snapping pics with him.
Absolutely.
Onitari Babsi says, Evans crying when arrested, now has effrontery to sue police as they became unprofessional after arrest. Why not arraign him within 24 hours? Okay, so I think you wanted to react to some of those tweets quickly.
Well, I mean, the last two tweets
your
answered
mind.
the question. I sincerely when you read that somebody said some lawyers wanted to
Make
money, you looked at me and smiled. That was not lost on me. What that smile was meant to achieve. However, but you see, the truth is, the man has to make money. And law is a business. Some people are making money from feeding Evans in detention. At least he's being fed. The food supplier is being paid. Whoever is cleaning the cell and all of that,
Exactly.
they are all being paid. Evans is living there at state expense. And some people are making money. So the lawyer too has a right to do his business. But you see, like the last
Taking
tweet
pictures,
said,
unprofessional.
I mean, and all of that. So why not arraignment within 24 hours? And like the one before said, why not go to a magistrate court? That is all. It's too elementary. It is just too elementary. Go and get this order further to section 268 of the ACG, Administration of Criminal Justice law. That's all you need.
Okay.
Once that is done, you have a valid court order to hold him.
In addition to what he's asking for perpetual injunction, restraining the respondents from further arresting, detaining, harassing, investigating, or inviting him in relation to the facts
No
of
court,
this case.
no. See,
Will any court grant him this kind of
no
prayer?
court will grant him that.
Okay.
Forget about the Odili case some years ago. Let's not be the basis of forming our opinions.
Okay.
That was an aberration and all that. I mean, how can you say? It's like saying I'm going to get a court order to say the police should even be stopped from doing his work.
Exactly.
Right.
From being invited, arrested.
Exactly.
I mean,
Okay.
but like a lawyer too, the man will forum shop. He will speculate a bit, but we know that I'm even sure even the lawyer knows that that will not
exactly.
be granted.
Thank you so
Oh,
much.
all right, Fola, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Well, Babatunde Ogala, thank you so much for coming on the program this morning.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you very much.